So I'd like to tell you a little story about me and another American Indian comedian as we traveled around doing what we called our Twin Injun Comedy Tour. I know that's politically incorrect, but I really don't care, as you can tell. He was a Navajo, I'm Apache, and his name is Mark Yaffe. You might see him. I think he has a dry bar comedy special as well. But Mark and I went to Miami, Oklahoma. Miami, Oklahoma, where they pronounce it Miami, but spell it Miami. And I remember when I got on stage, I said, it's good to be here in Miami, Oklahoma, because I knew they would come back with, no, it's Miami, which they did. And I said, oh, that's right, Miami, Oklahoma versus Miami, Florida. Makes sense now. So Miami, Oklahoma it's not a huge place, but they have a huge casino there called Buffalo Run Casino, and Mark and I were doing our show there, and we'd each do about 45 minutes each. And so we got to the casino, and the casino looked like a hay storage. It was big, like a Quonset hut in the Marine Corps, but huge. And I said, it looks like hay storage by day and comedy by night, but it's beautiful inside. I mean, it's tricked out, and they put us up in a beautiful hotel, and it was a wonderful time. They were very gracious to us. I would go back there in a heartbeat. But the stage that we were performing on was huge. It was made for huge bands. Imagine a rock band with the big tower speakers on each side. You know, that's the stage. The stage was big enough to hold an orchestra. It was huge. And here I was with just my microphone and the spotlight in the middle of this huge stage with my voice coming over these huge stacked speakers. It was incredible. You were so high up off of the ground that you couldn't even see the audience. With the spotlight in your face, it was just blackness. It was like performing in your living room up against the wall. It was not made for comedy. It was made for music. But we had a good show. But before the show, we went to the green room backstage, and the green room was there was a hallway dividing the stage area on the other side of a wall from the green room, which was on the left side across the hall from where the stage was. And when we walked into the green room, it was this big, beautiful area, and they had a table with tubs of ice, and every kind of drink you could think of was in that tub of ice. Anything we could want was there. They offered us whatever we wanted, and it was just, I mean, they treated us like kings, right? What we noticed as we walked down the hallway, all these signatures along the wall, both sides of the wall, covered with signatures of famous people. Now, there were famous bands. There was like all the members of Styx, all the members of the Eagles, different individual rock and roll artists, country artists. They were all up and down, R&B artists, all up and down the wall. There were famous comedians. There were all these big names in comedy. And we just marveled at all of the signatures on this wall. We went down to the green room, and we were sitting in there just kind of getting mentally ready for the show that night when in came the manager, I guess, of the casino. And he came in with another young man who had a camera. And he told us that we had to come out and have our picture taken signing the guest wall, the celebrity wall. And I was thinking, really, you want us to sign with all of these famous people the same wall? This is incredible. We have arrived. The next week I'd be playing some little dive or some restaurant on a little 1-foot platform made out of plywood. You know, that's the up and down roller coaster of stand-up comedy. One day you're a king, one day you're a pauper. It just happens. And so we're going to come out and sign the wall. And the man with the camera was a photographer from the local paper, and he always took the pictures of whoever was there and put them in the paper. And so he was going to take our picture. So we came out on the hallway. They asked me where I wanted to sign, and I'm looking around at all these famous signatures, and I noticed at the top of the wall is Trace Adkin's signature. Trace Adkins was a big country star, and somebody that I admired, and I played a lot of his music because I'm also a musician. And so I said, you know what? There's a space below Trace Adkin's name. I said, I want to sign underneath Trace Adkin's name. So I walked up and I said, somebody get me a chair, because I couldn't reach it. I'm 5'9". Somebody got me a chair, brought me a chair out, and I stood up on a chair and I reached up and I signed my name. And the photographer, who was standing down to my right, was laughing as he took my picture, and I looked down at him. I said, what are you laughing at? And he said, well, I took Trace Adkin's picture when he signed his name there, and he was standing flat-footed on the ground, and you have to stand on a chair to sign below his name. He thought that was hilarious. And to this day, I think that's hilarious. Trace Adkins is a tall dude. Hey, stand by, and I'll tell you about my encounter with Trace Adkins in another video. It's been nice chatting with you.